What's going on, y'all? What the fuck do I know, family? We out here, you know what I'm saying? This is a special edition of What the Fuck Do I Know podcast. We actually go off grid to an off grid farm in West Fork, around Perry Grove area, out east of Fayetteville. And we basically met some really amazing people. We didn't have all our equipment at the moment, so the audio quality is different on this one. But bear with us. It's an amazing episode, some amazing animals, some amazing people, and just overall a great experience that we had out there. We hope that you love it. Subscribe, comment, let us know what's next for y'all. Let us know if you're vibing with us. We appreciate you. Enjoy. Where is the popcorn?
That's a good question.
You're gonna have to remind me how to say your name so I don't mess it up.
Oh, Italo.
Italo.
Yeah.
That's a badass name.
Like Italy, but with a O.
Italo. That's a good way to remember it, actually. Italo. Does it mean
Strange.
something in Brazilian?
Huh?
Does it mean something in Brazilian?
No, but it's common there.
Really?
Pretty common, yeah.
Italo?
Yeah. Well, common enough. Like, not very common. But there is more where, like, here I've never really met anyone.
We got a new cameraman behind the scenes. You know what it does.
Thank you.
Apprentice.
He's the director of What the Fuck Do I Know podcast. I'm not really sure if I can cuss for the children.
No fucking cursing, bro.
No cussing. I'm sorry.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, I swear.
Take that shit outside.
Oh, you got
We gotta get out now. Get expelled from the premises.
You're gonna be distracted.
It's your turn to be behind the cameras. It's your time. Your turn. You're on the couch, big man. No. Flip it the other way, big man. You're good. You had it good right there. There you go. That's you.
You can talk into it.
Is there something you want to tell the people at home?
No. What do you say?
You talking to the camera. You want to say something?
Don't eat the microphone.
You want to tell them subscribe, follow on YouTube? Huh? He's like, nah.
He doesn't understand, man. This is like, what? The picture looks good.
You're recording though.
Yeah.
Okay, bet. So we're on episode 7 of the What the Fuck Do I Know podcast. We're here with Italo and Leslie. We're in the middle of Arkansas, somewhere out in a secluded part, in some very beautiful woods with some really amazing, dope people doing some amazing things. I really just got introduced to them not too long ago, probably 2 months ago. In terms of meeting physically. We've met before, but just coming out here has changed my perspective on a lot of things, not just life, but it's a good experience to come out here and share nature with people that really care about what they're doing. And you might not be able to see it from the angle right now, but we're in a little sunroom with 5 different animals from different species, and it's just there's so much life in this place right now, and I really wanted to give people a little bit more insight as to what y'all are doing. If y'all would like to introduce yourselves, how did y'all get into this? Where did y'all come from? And what do you want the people to know?
Okay. So basically what started all this... Oh, hi, my name is Italo. That was my son. Sorry about that. So... You're good, buddy. So basically what started it was... I come from a cooking background. So I've always been in the kitchen for about 12 years before I even started any of this. And the main reason was mostly because... Sorry, this guy's all over the place.
Back at the camera.
I can restart if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Yeah.
Not yet. So basically, what started all this was I was a cook, and for big kitchens in Miami, where everyone was supplied by the same food chain, Cisco or whatever it is in your area, and the food was always low quality as far as what I would expect for working in a high grade restaurant.
Right, prices were crazy, but the food quality was it's mid. There were no za in the back. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, yeah. Where I signed up to join said team thinking it was going to be high grade food or better than my last restaurant per se, which they all use the same produce. So basically what started it all up for me was I want to eat better than this.
Right.
And the only way to actually do it is to make it myself or source it small.
Mhm.
And that kind of what started it, along with also taking into account how much money you spend on food per day. That's how I figured out how to work less every day, was to just provide my own food so I wouldn't have to work as much. If that makes sense. And that was technically what started it for me because, like I said, I like eating good and different,
Who doesn't, right?
but you can't really
Right,
find
right. Audience.
rabbit,
Mhm.
duck,
Yeah.
stuff like that, at the store, where if you raise it yourself, you could actually afford it, and you know how long it's been dead, what it ate, and all that, because most people don't know the meats in the stores have already been dead for at least 2 weeks before they even hit the shelves.
That's
Right.
on a good day.
And that's a different relationship between farm to table. It's kind of like you grow up, you grow this animal, but you also grow with it, right? So like you go through its highs and its lows, through its sick days, through like you nurture something. So it's like growing a plant, but
You gonna take a picture?
right. So when you consume something that you put so much effort into, I presume that not only does it taste better, it feels better.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, most people are like scared of naming the animals they're gonna eat because of like a connection they're gonna have. This cow we just processed, I feel like I'm more connected to it eating it than ever, if that makes sense, because now it's actually a part of me. Like
No,
in a
yeah,
weird way.
yeah.
Because we took such good care of it, and now we get to get the full cycle of it, and being able to actually afford it is only because we raised it. Because meat prices are crazy right now, so
It feeds you back too, because it's giving you energy to take care of your other animals. So it's feeding the life.
it's the bigger picture.
Yeah, and that's something that gets lost in giant meat production. I'm guessing it's just
Yes.
more about amount than it is about.
They're pure numbers.
Right.
Pure numbers. They can account for hundreds of deaths in every one of their setups, and you can see how many setups there are in just the chicken industry here. They're accounting for millions if you're looking at their scale and stuff. We're not so much. We're accounting for a couple and that's because we're really on top of it. They're accounting for, we're not going to be in there every day. We're just going to come scoop all everything dead that's in there and stuff like that. It's a different connectivity than what you're actually going to get in an industrial setup than on a small setup. And we were looking at what spectrum there exists in farming, and when like industrial's one side and like hobby farming's like one side, like there's a huge place that you can exist in and find your niche and all this stuff. And it was just all about just trialing what other people had tried, seeing what fit with our setup and everything like that. And
So what has been some of those? Because like I know that it's been very rewarding in one sense, but it's also been difficult because you're learning this,
very
right?
much so.
So like,
A lot of new knowledge. that
what's
has to be
something you
applied
would
immediately.
like? Let's say somebody wants to come out and help. Like, how do we go about that, or how would you tell somebody, hey, you can also do this at a small scale like this?
So pretty much it's kind of finding what people vibe with for the most part, because every animal has a different set of needs, a set of spatial requirements. They have their personalities, they have their ups and downs, like they have pros and cons to everything. And so you need to look at what do you want. Sorry, this is a mess. He's a mess. I'll let you get some back up.
I'll be here.
Series. You're not
Serious? You wanna sit down on the couch? You wanna get interviewed too? Come here. Let's talk about the animals. Let's talk about the animals right
You
here.
want to talk about your animals?
Talk about your animals.
No. Come here.
What's your favorite animal?
Watch out. Come here. Over here,
Come here,
in
Zaze.
front of the camera.
Sit right here.
Come here.
Sit right here. Elephants, we don't have any of those.
No.
So it's really about finding what people like to do and what they're, again, Bubby.
It's all fun.
We just
No,
gotta
it's
restart
like
it. Fucking kick him out.
no. He's like he's free range. Like he has he exists in his
Alright,
own.
let's
go.
No, which is dope. No, it's just like the camera can't see it, but he's like having so much fun. Just like yeah, like he turned it into an obstacle course. Like that's the type of like thinking that I think this produces. Like y'all are definitely like it's almost like improvisation. Like You know,
really
like in
have
theater they tell us yes and y'all look at life like yes and, like y'all trying to figure out this works, but or and this works.
Well, like I told you, we had to learn everything basically online or talking to the few people that would spew some information. So we were like really having to work to get this knowledge, and we want to be that knowledge base. If we can help you, we want to be able to.
And
like
y'all got inspired by that one show from Alaska from what I was saying. What was it called?
Life Below Zero.
Life Below Zero.
So it's a fun one to get a feel for what's possible on a really extreme scale. And like I said, it was looking at, okay, this is the extremity, and living in apartments, kind of your like basic existence. What's available to us? We had money to work with, so land was a possibility finally, and stuff like that. So we really looked at what's actual setups that are possible. We were looking at other people's setups, and we had to apply it to what we were working with, which is woods, which is kind of a not typical farming setup. And it actually has its pros to it, where people are like, oh, you need green pasture, you need a tractor, you need to do it this way with chickens and a tractor and all this stuff. And the box setups, they call them chicken tractors, where they pull them to new pastures. But you need pasture for that, and you need to be flat and all this stuff. We're working on a slope with rocks, trees, and stuff we don't want to touch because of the ecological disasters that happen when you do monocultures on a mass scale. You see it, you saw the Dust Bowl in the 20s. It just wiped out the entire Midwest practically, turned everything to dust because people weren't looking at how the impacts of everything you're doing is going to take out stuff that you're trying to do 10 years down the road and stuff like that. They're still having problems with their soil and stuff out here. You have to look at every part. Sure, you're getting chicken wings in this one spot, but what's the impact of raising millions and millions of chicken wings and all that stuff?
Like what's the cost?
Yeah, you really have to look at and past what they're looking at, just the cost.
Right.
Some ecological thing. You have to look at every aspect. And it's hard. It's really hard, especially when there isn't the knowledge there.
Or it's hard to...
They gatekeep a lot, is what we found.
Absolutely. I mean, you
They
do that so that people don't know what is really going.
They don't like
on,
the process.
I'm guessing.
They don't like transparent processes.
Right, because then you have to tell people, hey, this is the good part, but this is the really, really bad part of it too. Like,
yeah, you see a lot more farmers recently getting on like TikTok, and they get a lot of hate. And there's like dairy farmers on there, and it's a really intensive industry. There's people that have been in PETA going in and like into the chicken houses and doing the little cameras.
Right,
You've seen those videos and stuff. So there's a whole spectrum of like what you can do and what's ethical and what's non-ethical, and there's just so many ways to do it and stuff like that. And we were looking at, okay, what's gonna work and what's gonna not. We were working with low budget, first generation everything.
Scrap material.
Scraps.
Like y'all lived without heating for a while, and you learned how to cut down trees, and then you learned about trees, and you learned about animals and cycles and pregnancies and vaccination and like. But you learned it. It's not like it's like y'all.
And that's exactly what we want to do. Is like, it was so hard for us to learn said information that we would like a middle. We want to be the middle ground where we are accessible and we execute well. Where like most farms only care about executing well. We care about sharing information. Also, considering it took us so much time to access certain information because they do not make it accessible. You know what I mean? They don't want you to know, and they overcomplicate things that are like really simple usually, you know. So stuff like that, they'll make it really hard to obtain information that's supposed to be ours already, you know what I mean. And that's what we don't like about the farming community nowadays, and that's what we want to be, the like middle ground of informative. And
so how do we support the movement? Like, I know we can buy some produce off of y'all, we can come out here, possibly work. Like, how do people get in contact to either like help y'all, you know, financially, or help y'all with like energy?
So we have our social media set up. I'm trucking with them slowly, learning all the little ins and outs and stuff. I'm not great at it. But DosSantos Farm on Instagram and Facebook, trying to keep them up. Our newest project is Gertrude the Schoolie also is on there. just trying to kind of upkeep with the meat sales and like to where
Because y'all just processed y'all just processed a bull, right?
Yeah, we just
So,
did a bull the other day.
People can now go on there and place an order for meat.
We don't have a formal website yet,
USDA
but
raised meat. Yeah.
yeah, it is all
small farm.
certified and stuff like that, and we able to like even sell to restaurants and stuff. So if you have some friends that are looking to like flip some stuff, we're able to like supply that. Where to our first cow was a small processor, which wasn't USDA. And again, stuff we had to learn of like, oh, you can't sell that. It has literally do not sell on that stuff.
I'm talking to a few gym owners right now about trying to get that meat in there because a lot of like the bodybuilders and stuff like that, the weightlifters, they're trying to get
and that's the
protein.
full process that we want to get to is like we want to be able to supply someone that wants to know the input of their animal. If they're wanting to know their health to the fullest extent possible, they don't want antibiotics and that stuff. They don't want junk food up in them. You can buy some of the cheapest food possible, which is Fruit Loops and corn, and feed them, and they'll grow.
But they're not healthy.
They look like
they're
crap.
diabetic and all types of sugar influence.
So it's really about looking at the whole processes, and we want to be there for people that want to really hone in exactly what they want and showing them that you can have a hand in that process. You don't have to own the pig. Like you can come pet it and stuff like that. Like we want to be able to have a more accessible version of traditional farming. And
that's I was gonna touch base on how you asked how people could help or contribute. Basically, getting the word out. Telling people there is a spot you can go trial things out. Like she said, you ever wanted to raise a pig? That's not an accessible thing to do. You can just like go do in a weekend. But here we are trying to give people that area, that space to actually trial things, see if they like it, go off from there, because most people don't want to try farming considering it's like so overwhelming. There's so many aspects and stuff, but if you don't start small,
if you don't start at all, you never know.
That's what we, as far as like being, contributing and stuff like that, that's basically what we just want to do, is like getting someone out here who does want to learn and wants to trial their own thing, that's like been thinking about it and haven't had the opportunity to, because it is kind of, not an easy thing to do, like I said. And I feel like that would be like where we are right now, as in the biggest help would be people basically showing up. We've gotten to the point where we did the whole raising of the animals where they're giving back already. So at this point we could literally teach people how long it would take, what they need.
Here's the knowledge.
The animals, exactly.
So people reach out through DosSantos Farm on Instagram, and y'all can definitely reach out if you need trees. I know that you cut down trees.
I do, I do tree work for a living.
Italo Eco Tree Service is our other, finally our LLC, like our bigger stuff that we're finally getting like.
Yeah, I do trees, firewood, and
it's been a long process.
stump grinding. Grind stumps, anything tree related really I'm doing basically, and I do want to get to woodworking and all that here too eventually, where I just bought a planer, so like we do want to get into furniture making, and that's also something we do want to provide for people, because it's something I've always wanted to do,
and I'm sure we got friends, man, that put that creative sense of like, you've been framing, you've been creating, like come out for a weekend and just come, like I promise you, like the vibe is just different here. Like it's actually like I don't know. It feels very familial, but it also feels very free, and like I don't know. Living that life out there sometimes doesn't feel like you're liberated. It feels like you're tied to something, and it's like I gotta do this. It's like when you're here, it's like I get to do this.
Exactly.
And that feeling is totally different in life.
Especially at the end of the day when you're tired and you think about what you did. You think about it, you did it for yourself, and that's just a different feeling from like corporate work, where it's like, man, what did I just do all day? And do they appreciate it? Because who's gonna appreciate it more than you is no one. So when it comes down to it, you got to be doing something you like doing, and that makes you feel good at the end of the day. Because otherwise, you're just wasting time. I feel like
No, absolutely.
Origins. Where y'all come from? How'd y'all come to Arkansas?
Yeah.
I mean, I got some from her earlier.
Did you want to talk to her?
Yeah. So I'm from Middle Alabama originally. Kind of just raised out there, just small town shit. Like I was in a college town, Montevallo. It wasn't much. Had some feel of like, okay, you can go do FFA at the high school, but I ended up not going to that high school and stuff, so I never really had the hands-on animal experience outside of house pets and stuff like that. Horses was about as close as I got to it. It was across the street from a horse farm, eventually. So really kind of a little disconnected from it. Just used to going to Walmart, getting our stuff, basics, boom, bam, this is how you eat. And it was always kind of just a drive of mine to be around animals in some capacity. I was supposed to be in marine biology on the ocean and stuff, but I'd never been on a boat, so I was like, I don't know about this. And there's a lot of like, or go to Kent, like it was just so many things that were so pressurized, and I just kind of couldn't hack it at the time. And we were just down in Florida. We kind of met and just vibed and figured out like, hey, let's try and live together. Let's try this, and everything just kind of flowed. And went back to Alabama after a while. We moved to Miami for a little bit where he was staying, and then helped my grandma out in Birmingham, and kind of got the feel of like, what do we want to do, what do we not want to do? Because we've been in Miami renting, we've been like with family, without family, like, so kind of seeing what was the necessities and what was going to actually be our life. And we got that taste of, hey, this is the really out there stuff, and here's kind of like the little just sweet and cream, easygoing life, like, and figured out it was possible.
This is making a robot.
And then
mostly for
y'all
them,
had
though. It was
babies.
yes, it was a
What's his
heavy.
name?
That's Zary's.
We started, she was pregnant at the time,
Yeah.
so basically I had to go figure it out because you don't want her to overdo it and then, you know, bad things. So at first it was a lot of like, how the hell do I, you know, how do I do any of this? And that's what I mean, the information was really kept.
Because a little background, you're from Brazil.
Correct, yeah.
You moved to Miami. You grew up in a giant urban city, a
metropolis
for like
megatropolis.
18 years, yeah.
for people know as tourism attract, like really heavily on that. So music, other stuff, you know, everything really that, but not necessarily agrarian lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that made me want to do it mostly too, is looking around Miami and just looking at people and how happy they looked, you know, and stuff like that. It was just like all physical Lamborghinis and Ferraris and stuff like that. Not the type of stuff that makes me happy per se. So looking around, I knew what I didn't want, and it wasn't that. So when it comes down to it, in Brazil, we did have a farm. Before I moved here when I was 7, so before 7 years old, we used to go to the farm and hang out, and those were like my fondest memories, was when we did go to the farm and hang out. It was real family time, and everyone was actually connected, instead of like, when we went back home, we didn't even talk to the same family members anymore or whatever, you know, but when we were at the farm, we felt like we haven't stopped talking. So that's the thing too, was just like, I knew that's what kind of made me happy, and that's what I kind of wanted to try again at least, because it was worth the attempt. Worst case, I go back to a city. That's always an option, but you don't have the option to try it every day, you know. So, and then yeah, we did start. She was pregnant with Zary's.
Zary's, come here.
So
say hi to the people over here.
come here,
Show me
Zary's.
your
Over
robot.
over here.
Show me your robot.
Oh
No.
shy.
This way.
You show them on camera.
Come here. Say hi.
So it's our oldest
Say hi to the
son.
camera.
So he'll be 4 come March, and I found out I was pregnant on our like first tour of this place.
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah.
And so it kind of
We came to tour it, and
everything clicked into pieces where it needed to, and it was
Awesome.
some cool universal timing for sure.
Still wasn't.
no, Zary. He's out now. You're out now. Okay. So we actually came to see the land the first time, and we pulled up, and she was feeling a little nauseous, and we just drove like 10 hours from Alabama just to come look at this place, because we found it on Craigslist, which was pretty weird. So when it comes down to it, we... Yeah.
You can find anything on Craigslist now.
Because
I met them, and everything's on Craigslist, bro. You can get it. Craigslist and Marketplace, yo, pretty much, yeah.
We've gotten almost everything off of it.
No,
It's kept us
because
up.
it wasn't a real house, it was a hunting cabin. So it didn't have any of the utilities or anything. That's how we got a good deal on the land in the first place. And yeah, we found this place on Craigslist, and we show up, and she's feeling a little nauseous. Ends up, Zeres, you're not being a good cameraman. But yeah, she actually found out she was pregnant with him for the first time when we actually came to look at this land, because she ended up throwing up on that tree up there. And then we only found out later that was the first time she felt nauseous and all that. So she kind of marked her spot, and then at that point we just couldn't not move.
Timed out perfect.
Oh, then that's kind of, that is universe speaking. She's like,
I try not to like.
that was Ziri speaking actually.
that's
He was
what I
kind
mean,
of
that was
like,
our-
hey,
Like, I
I
like
want
this
this.
place.
Yeah.
No, legit. Like, I try not to hone on like one thing too off. Like, I don't want to focus on like, oh God, this or like, oh, it's only nothing. Like, I try to keep a balance on everything, and it was just so much, just like moving how it was supposed to. It was freaky, honestly. Like, I was telling her earlier, like we were driving the first time, we looked at each other and we were just like, shh. We literally looked at each other and we were like, did you feel that? Go find like something in our stomach just like settled.
Do you have batteries?
Right.
It was
So
intense.
intuitively, this felt like
Oh,
home.
Yeah, I never
weirdly
felt
enough,
that.
yeah,
It was
for once. Yeah.
18 years solid living in Alabama. And never felt that once. That I can remember. Like maybe when I was legit, maybe, but not to this level.
Right.
It was something. It was,
Well, I'm super thankful that y'all have opened up your home to us, to my friends, to my family, and kind of like getting to come out here a couple weeks in a row and just kind of like seeing what's going on. Like, I'm definitely want to be a part of this, and I invite anybody else to come out here and kick it with Zeres and you know, kick it with Italo, Italo, Leslie, the whole gang of goats, the cows. Hell, do you want to show them the Charmander or what?
Yeah.
Charizard? What's his name?
Charmeleon.
Charmeleon.
The chameleon.
Charmeleon. Can't even speak now. See?
really?
Hey, I was close. Whoa, baby's crying. Is he walking without his sling today?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been knocked off that for 2 days.
He's good.
Serious? You want to get the chameleon out?
Oh, I can get him there.
On the camera.
Can you reach it there?
Oh, whoa,
No,
big
but-
man. Hey,
Come here, Zeres.
Charmeleon.
They're strong.
Come here, Zeres.
Everybody knows the crocodile hunter, but do you know Zeres the animal? Dude.
You want to hold him, Zeres?
No.
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 They're so quick to like wrap around.
How in
Come here, buddy.
How in the background?
Oh, he wants
He
to
wants
get
back.
it. Yeah.
What up? There you go.
Let me get closer. Let me get the funny camera.
Is that lighting good on it?
And berries?
That's Charmeleon.
So cool.
This is my rubber.
Yeah, he could look 360
Degrees?
all the time, man.
Just a little taste of what they got here.
No, and then it just goes to show you
You can what?
he can see 360 degrees.
What?
Yeah. Goes to show you animals have been super advanced. We just kind of like
You stop.
look at how many colors there is on his skin. Like how
So
many
does he
pic-
change colors?
He does, but it's more like people think they're like camouflaging. It's more like a mood ring, so he'll get real dark if he's upset. You're handling him the wrong way, and he'll look real bright, happy like he is now. So they kind of tell you their emotions through their colors, where it's more like a mood ring, I guess, is a good explanation of like
Go
why
to
they
him.
change, you know?
Come here. Ooh, ooh. It's like Anthony grabbed my finger.
But put him on my hat.
Yeah, he used to skateboard with, not him, but his cousin.
He used to skateboard with his cousin.
Yeah, he used to hang on to my hat.
Squirtle or what?
No, his name was not Squirtle. It wasn't that cool. It was actually Alejandro.
Alejandro?
Yeah.
That's cool. There's a. What about. Is the ferret? Like. What?
You're like Alejandro, that's cool.
It's just random.
It's just a random name.
You didn't even like stop the thing like that's a cool name.
It's like, wait, he's got another Pokemon name? I'm like, no.
No, oh,
It's just
lame.
Alejandro. It's just Alejandro.
Like a human name. That's why. It looks
What's the ferret?
That's Sibby, bro.
Sibby. There you go. Sibby.
You want to get your Sibby?
Hey, go record
Can you get Sibby? Serious, can you get Sibby?
Where
No
is
one's
gonna
taking
let him out.
him.
Yeah, he
He
free
grabs
roams.
him?
Huh?
He grabs him?
Yeah.
I need to take
He's
it.
really cool. I mean, you just gotta open it for him.
I got it.
You got it? There you go.
Oh man, this is my dude.
That's Sibby the ferret.
What's up, Zibby?
Whoa.
Is that your ferret?
What is it doing?
What's he doing?
And then the chinchilla's name is
Is that it's having
That's a
fun?
good question. I forget.
Oh,
Is that
Series.
trying to have fun?
Do you know
if he runs out?
Yeah, he's good. The other one's upset. Scruffy.
Scruffy the chinchilla.
Yeah.
If anybody knows of a female chinchilla, please
Yeah.
contact us here so we can get Fluffy, Scruffy.
So you want to wrap up the interview because baby's crying? And
Yeah, no, definitely come check out DosSantos Farms on Instagram. Check out
Italo's Eco Street Services.
And
We do have Instagram too and Facebook.
Yeah, we'll put all that.
And then DosSantos Farm, like you said, on Facebook and Instagram. It's all we got right now, and hopefully growing it a lot more soon and get some more content on it.
And this has been episode 7 of What the Fuck Do We Know podcast.
Nice. Shout out to Charmeleon.
Is he okay?
And Zias for coming in clutch on this.
So what is this? Why is this harder up here? This is really weird.
You're strong, man, but I don't know how strong.
He's getting excited.
He's trying to go to you.
Someone over here.
I got you, bro.
She was like, yeah, so a taxidermy piece of a
Bravo!
ferret back.
Jeez. You eating popcorn?
No one take it him.
I don't know what the hell this thing is. Oh,
I need to take it
she gave
him
it to him
first.
Just like, okay. Don't push yet. I know. I'll do the other one. The other cage broke.